years back, I think around 5, 7 years back, I did a tour of one of the company. Right, there were two teams. They were traveling together, and we had a couple of email exchange, and people gone ahead and they have traveled, came back. Exactly after 1.5 years after that travel, I got a phone call from two people, rather one people from the same, two people from the on the same call. I want to come and meet you. I thought could be got some reference, want to book some tours and other things.
Uh, Abhishek, now that you have mentioned that, how your operational and sales experience have shaped your entrepreneurial journey as a, tour and travel company. Um, Here, my question again would be like, how do you kind of create experiences and just not a trip for people to come to you?
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful question you have put. When you are doing a trip for anyone, or when you are curating, we don't say it's making a tour or tour plan or itinerary. We always say we curate it for you.
Yeah.
Uh, it requires a lot of details. First thing which we emphasize is something what we call as quote unquote the interest mapping. We map market, we do a lot of mapping, but we have to understand what exactly that person is interested in. For example, if you are looking for a trip to Bali and if I am looking for a trip to Bali, the things which you will be interested in can be completely different what I am interested in. You could be a beach lover. You could go for a lot of beach, beach tripping and all those things. So for you, the right tour could be, going to Nusa Dua Beach, or it can be Kuta Beach or Benoa Beach, doing beach activities, etc., etc. Contrary, I can be a history fan. For me, if I'm traveling to Bali, my interest will be definitely the Besaki temple. It could be the Purataman Saraswati
Yeah.
temple. It could be, or I can even be a cultural freak. Okay, I can. If I'm a cultural freak, my point of interest could be, a Kisab dance, which happens in Bali. So like that. So first thing first is definitely the interest mapping. We have to map what this person is looking for, what is his interest level. So quote unquote, interest mapping is the first thing which we have to do. That's point number one. So we have to see the pattern of his travel. I have got people who are traveling to different people, but they are history freaks. So whenever that person gives me a query, I want to travel this summer to some places. Can you suggest me something? Okay, if he is a history freak, obviously I can suggest them Bali. I can suggest them Europe, parts of Europe, Egypt, etc., etc. I have even got the people who are wildlife freaks. They are mad about wildlife. For them, I can even suggest them Ghana and Pinch in domestic. I can suggest them Tanzania. I can suggest them Kenya, like that. But on contrary, if I suggest them Dubai, they will go. But that happiness will not be there. So these two are very important whenever we are curating something for someone. Interest mapping, quote unquote, this is a very vital factor nowadays. And secondly, what exactly how they are traveling, what is their pattern of travel. Few people travel in summers, few people travel during Durga Puja, few in winter vacation, like that. And there are few people who don't travel in these peak seasons, rather they prefer to travel in off seasons. So these things we have to keep it in mind, and then we have to present them an itinerary. We have to discuss them, and discussion is very important. I can send them in code sort of a thing, but most of the time, 90% if you don't follow up after code, it will not get into a transaction.
Yeah.
Why? Because you are not explaining them. That human bonding is important. So four things once again: interest mapping, pattern. Third is what kind of travel pattern they are having. This is definitely I have said. And the last but not the least, what exactly you are discussing with them after you send them the code. That human connection building. I think these four are the real pointers which can really help them to curate something for them as per their interest.
Absolutely. And when we speak about interest, it is so important and crucial because that is a
Yes.
commonality through which we find that okay, there is value. We want to invest in particularly this particular trip or this particular hobby, or and many times I think experiences are also how that particular experience has been curated. So one travel memory I can share, like I've traveled to many places, many cities, many countries. One of my travel memories which always has stayed with me is my trip to Kerala. Okay, so and I had traveled in the month of July, which when basically there is chances of a lot of monsoons and rains and everything, but we got very lucky. And the something which I really appreciated was the way the trip was curated with the experiences. I was a little, like, I'm talking about many years back. I think 2016 or 17. I had taken that trip, and travel portals were also a little nascent at that point of time. It wasn't as it is now. Like, I think there were lesser number of options. You majorly had some two three big players. You had lesser number of choices from where. But why I mention this is that how experiences, how people connection, how those conversation made my trip memorable. One of them being the person who was taking care of us through that entire trip, the driver in that trip, that entire route, because it was a road trip primarily. He ensured that we were comfortable, that we were safe, and he ensured that we were seeing all the places at the right time, and we were not missing out on the experiences which was curated for us. So at Searching Soulmate, we speak so much about human connections, the importance of having the support network, and I think traveling is a great way to make friends. So, what do you think? What happens during travel that people end up making friends for life?
Well, let me just answer this question with incident which happened. I must say it's a good incident, not a bad incident. Few years back, I think around 5-7 years back, I did a tour of one of the company. Right, there were two teams. They were traveling together, and we had a couple of email exchange, and people gone ahead and they have traveled, came back. Exactly after 1.5 years after that travel, I got a phone call from two people, rather than one people from the same, two people from the on the same call. I want to come and meet you. I thought could be got some reference, want to book some tours and other thing. Instead of booking tours, they came with a wedding card. Okay, hello, what, like? Do I even know you? You are giving me a wedding card, inviting me to your wedding. Do I even know you, sir? I remember we had a couple of mail exchange. Of course, I remember that. But do I even know you? So let's say you did not to know me. Because of your tour, we got connected and finally got together. So that was one incident. We still keep on. They are still my client, but they are now living out of India, and we are still in good touch. So this was the incident which I had. Now coming back to your question, what exactly happens? Now understand what exactly happens in our daily life. We get up, or and rush to office. Whole day we are there in the office. Again, go back, finish up our day, and go for. And this grind goes on day in and day out, 365 days a year. What happens when you travel? You get rid, or you break from that daily grind. Okay, so you break from that daily grind. Your mind gets relaxed, your body gets relaxed, or your anxiety level gets down, stress level gets down. Probably half of your comorbidities go away. Whatever you take it as, it's like that. So this is the physiological part of it. Of course, mentally the connection when we break from the our daily routine or daily grind like this, I must say. So obviously you get time to build relation. It could be you can make friends, you can have a good connect with your wife, with your children, with your parents, with the whole world. You can even have good connect with people whom you never met before. So this is a normal psychological phenomena which happens. There are numerous such story. I've just said one story like that, but there are numerous story which I have.
Absolutely.
Is there?
I think it's a lot like going to college, where you feel much more like there are so many people to hang out with. There is lesser amount of stress, barring
Yes,
of course
yes.
the studies and everything. But I think like when you're traveling, what I like you actually hit the bullseye is when you say that you feel less stress. And I think that is one of the biggest reason why we open up.
Open up, yes.
Right, we
Yes.
we are much more. I think we are much more open to conversation, to making that new friend, to making finding that relationship which is there in my life, but I'm not probably giving enough attention. And that's one of
Absolutely.
the, and I think that's the reason why it's so important to have those, travel breaks,
True.
those mini vacations, because that's only way you connect with people in your life. And that's the only way you actually also make, I wouldn't say only way, that's one of the
One of
most
the ways.
important way to make connections for life. At Searching Soulmate, we have this travel club, and you had been to one of the club. Something which we felt like, every time a particular travel we are doing, we come back, we with our memories, but we don't always get to share those memories. And when you actually share those, I think that also creates a lot of happy hormones
Absolutely.
playing in our body, which
Absolutely.
makes us again further connect with people in that group probably.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think you've just pointed out right that travel is a great conversation starter, a great way to make new friends when you are on the move or while you are in the clubs, just sharing your stories, or while helping people curate those journeys, which will give lifelong memories. Abhishek, many of my friends have told me you'll make for a fabulous uh, tours and travel company also. Like, I can build one. Apparently, I design fabulous trips. Okay, now I am sure, like me, a lot of people aspire to have their love for travel kind of cascade into a profession. What would your kind of that suggestion be, which travel enthusiast can kind of listen to and consider, and then take that leap of faith into being somebody who belongs to that travel and tourism world?
Wonderful question. Rather, it's an easy and difficult question both. Let me be very clear. Yes, passion is really important, right? If you have a passion for travel, you can always go for it. But please understand one thing: passion is not everything. Passion is
Yeah.
important, but passion is not everything. Just like my first venture miserably failed, to be honest, as I said. So I had a passion. I was full of I was enthusiastic and everything, full of energy, and said, okay, let's do that. But what happened? Zero bookings, nothing. So this is, you are having a passion, that's good, but you have to channelize your passion to the reality that's there. Amazing. You can have amazing solutions, but you need to have a problem, because generally what people do, people first build their solution, then look for
Right.
problem. It has to be other
Yeah,
way
yeah,
around.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so what I mean is that in case you are travel enthusiast and would like to convert your enthusiasm into a business, full-fledged business, you have to find a niche, right? You have to really find a niche which you can cater to. Okay, travel is not doing everything, because you have to really streamline or really pinpoint what exactly you want to do, right? Because in travel we have got very a lot of sub classifications. Like, we have got outbound travel companies, we have got inbound travel companies, domestic travel companies, we have something called handling agent or destination management companies. You have to find out where you exactly want to fit. Okay, you cannot be everything. You cannot be an outbound, inbound, domestic, and destination
Right.
managers. You cannot be anything and everything. You cannot be a ticketing agent and a visa handler together.
Right.
You cannot be. You cannot be a guide and a photographer together.
Yeah.
Of course, you can be.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
there.
you can.
You can be, but you have to
Yeah.
pinpoint what exactly you are,
Exactly.
what expertise is, and how it is fitting into the market.
Right.
Okay, you have made an amazing product, and if that product doesn't sell, it's of no use. It is
Absolutely.
always said it's not best made product, it's best sold products. Okay, so passion, you have to do a lot of brainstorming, lot of planning, and you have to draw a plan how to launch that. Okay, you have to convert your passion to profession
Yeah.
with a lot of steps. It's not a straight line. It's ups and downs. You have to have a lot of resilience in you in order to do that. But yes, I do not want to discourage you. Of course not. Let me encourage you. Go ahead and do this. Make a good plan. Do a market study and take a leap. That's okay. You might succeed. You might fail. That's a part of the
Yeah,
game.
I think when Abhishek mentioned the fact that to find a niche or to find something which interests you is very important, because I recently met somebody at Bangalore. I remember that very clearly, that conversation. So they were a company who used to build various kind of experiences around jungle trips. Okay, and they were also into handling a lot of team bonding exercises in these particular camps. And I asked the gentleman, so I said, how come, he was also somebody who had left the corporate life behind to start this business. And he said that, I have been this avid wildlife photographer, and I have traveled to so many jungles. I know so much about jungles. I wanted to pass down that information to people, and he felt that it was something which he should do to protect wildlife,
Okay.
to build more knowledge around conservation, to have people find more empathy in natural settings. And and he said that those 5 to 10 days of my wildlife photography times used to help me stay sane, stay healthy, stay fit, because there was so much of oxygen in those in those forests. And I think people have different reasons. People will have, but as you rightly mentioned, he was doing for a purpose beyond just building the business. And I think that is what sets you apart. When you build a business for a niche, but beyond, when you plan to provide more experiences than just curating a trip, and it is much more purpose driven. I think that is when
Absolutely.
a business is also successful. It might be a little slow in the beginning, but believe me, it will slowly stand up. And like Abhishek, you mentioned, it can fail initially, but it will not fail in the long run. It will grow, because that's your conviction which comes into the picture. Tell me something. Do you have any such stories or instances which you have seen in your this travel entrepreneur journey, where you have found that travel has actually helped mend or build a relationship?
Oh yes, I let me give you one quick story of it. One evening I got a call from one of my friend and saying that Abhishek, one of my friend who was a family counselor, wanted to urgently speak with you. Well, yeah, give my number. I'll be happy to speak. I first thought he must be planning something. Then he called me next morning. Yeah, Abhishek, I got your number from this person, and I have a peculiar case where I want you to help.
Yeah.
Like, tell me something. So one of the court benches has referred him a case of a divorce case rather.
Yeah.
It has actually hit their bench, and bench referred it to a counselor, and he was the counselor, and it was two young people, probably married for around 1.5 years, and they are suddenly going for divorce. Okay, and I think judge was a bit kind, and he didn't proceeded with this, and
Yeah.
rather referred it to a counselor. And counselor called me. I want them to travel to somewhere of their interest. You speak with them, they are ready to pay, and let them spend some time together for around next 10, 12 days or whatever. Okay. So these people called me, and I have spent almost 35 minutes over phone, knowing what exactly is their interest mapping. I have suggested them an itinerary of around 10 days to a place. Believe me, they came back and they have withdrawn that case. They have withdrawn that their divorce case, and they are still together, still my client. So again, let me just re-quote it once again. Whenever you are traveling, you are out of your hustle and bustle of your daily life, daily grind. So that really nurtures your mind. That's number one. That relaxes your mind. Your comorbidities vanish to a huge extent, and you are also psychologically attached to each other. So that is what you can mend your relation. You can give a new start. Probably, if I ask how many of you, you as a listener, have ever seen sunrise in last probably 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, I don't know. Probably same for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Same for me.
We don't wake up so early in the morning.
Absolutely. But sunrise is one of the best stress
Yeah,
busters.
yeah.
If you see the sunrise, it is always said this is one of the
No,
finest
I
stress
think I
busters.
saw actually.
You,
I had an early morning flight, so I saw.
so you saw while taking the
Yeah,
flight,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
No, but you were bound to see, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
were bound
I
to
just
see.
couldn't do anything
You cannot
about
do
it.
anything more. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
So that is one story which is very eye opener for almost everyone. How we destroy our relations with the daily grind, with the daily routine which we are following, with daily stress really destroys everything. And the one small break of 10 days has really remade everything. I think I'm very fortunate that I was part of their, reinventing
Yes,
journey.
yes.
But this is something an eye opener for me as well.
Absolutely. Because it says that before you take the decision of marrying somebody, a lot of psychological books say that travel together, because that's the greatest test to kind of find the compatibility. Because when you mention that these two people who had already filed for a divorce, think about it, like they were under tremendous pressure, and then finally when they come back from the trip and they find a mended relationship, they found they used empathy to rekindle love, romance, or just to listen to each other. I think that is that
Probably,
is that
yes.
is what happens. And when you are not in the digitally connected world, when you're a little out of it, I think what happens also is that you actually listen. And in any relationship, listening is the biggest skills. Today, we are also consumed with only telling, or only like kind of just saying that this is what is needed, this is what is it. From there, that journey of listening is, I think, what builds empathy, what builds connection, and finally conversations.
Absolutely.
So, travel often brings us face to face with different people, different situation, different culture, and it helps us create, or I would say, see different dimensions of life. So, how do you think? How does travel, build empathy? Uh, just not during that course of travel, but when you converse with fellow travelers in communities also.
Well, that's a wonderful question. It's more of a psychological impact that travel impart on us. Okay, you are traveling. You are based out in Kolkata, right? You are driving every day. You are seeing, skyscrapers, and you are sitting in front of the laptop for probably 7, 8 hours a day, or mobiles, or whatever we all are engaged in, WhatsApp and all, right? Suddenly, you take a break and go to Kenya. You go to Masai Mara. You see the wildlife, fantastic, and you suddenly take a day trip to a village called Masai Village, right? That is a village where the primitives of that area live, and you see they are not connected to the world. They are not using computers. They are not Wi-Fi connected most of the time. They do have Wi-Fi, but probably most of their population still doesn't use that. Okay, and you see them, probably walking barefoot. You see them, eating traditional foods with I mean, cooked on with a traditional method, cooked with a traditional method rather, and that earthen pots they are using. So what is the first thought you are getting from a hyper urban society to a primitive society? You see this. So more you give, you absorb the things, right? How they are living, how they are living. So yeah, the best part is you will not find hardly you will find comorbidities over there. How many of the Maasai tribe you ever reported of, heart attacks, cancer, diabetes, uric acid, or urea, whatever, your kidney failure, or whatever, and vitamin D deficiency, or whatever so-called urban lifestyle has given. So that's one aspect of exactly so-called hyper urban lifestyle. And going to these places, definitely you are finding yourself more connected to your roots, breaking away from that so-called artificial the flavors what we are having. You are not having burgers and pizzas every day, rather having some good food. So definitely, this is entire psychological or overall holistic effect you are having. So overall, which you are having, that is something you can only feel when you travel. That's there. And definitely, next coming to how it develops empathy. Now, when you are completely going to roots, seeing something different, which making you feel good, connected to roots, and cutting off from the regular hustle and bustle, of course, you will have something good, something positive, obviously. Now, negativities will fade away.
I think I'll just build a little on this conversation where, like, how traveling builds empathy. So, like when you start traveling, you meet many cultures. That's the first thing. The second is culture can be anything from the way people dress to people eat to people converse. or the entire societal structure in itself. And when you find that similar warmth, when you find that people are still warm, people are still giving, people are trying to understand you, people are trying to be compassionate, and people are also helping you, kind of feel comfortable. I think that's when the biggest trigger happens, because you feel heard, seen, and valued, and that's where that empathy finally kind of seeds in. The more you travel, the more your eyes open.
Absolutely,
If I'm not,
absolutely. Agree
if I'm
with you,
not wrong.
100%.
And the more you, cultivate on these journeys, building conversation, connection, and memories, you actually build on your empathy.
Absolutely.
So, Abhishek, it was a wonderful session, and travel is one of my favorite interests. I think if given a chance, I would probably have chosen to be a traveler, not doing anything. And the little amount of exposure I do get is through traveling, and through meeting people in various, through various activities, events, and through various, I would say, platforms. Um, at Searching Soulmate, we take a lot of pride in being able to build a community around all of these hobbies, travel being one of those. And these hobby communities, in turn, will enable people in coming days to feel heard, seen, valued, and of course, build more kindness. And since we have come to the end of our conversation, we will not let you go without a rapid fire.
Sure.
Okay? So, my first question is, mountains or beaches?
Mountains.
Your last vacation you have taken, and why it has imprinted a memory.
Thailand. Imprinted a very because I got cut off from emails and regular messages probably. That's what, doing nothing.
And doing nothing. The best meal you have had while traveling.
The local meals, of course, Thai local meal probably.
Okay. One city you keep going back to.
Well, keep going back to. No, you can take it as Dubai, no worries.
If not travel and hotel, which would be the other industry which you would have, you feel you would have suited well?
Probably writing and literature, probably.
One very very interesting question. Something which you tell all your clients while traveling, that one thing which you have to carry. Please do not forget what may come and go.
Passport or IDs.
Absolutely. And I think very, very important. Otherwise, you don't get to even sit on the train these days. Okay.
Don't lose your passport.
Yeah. Don't ask me. That's a story for another day. I have had that experience also. Okay. So and thank you so much, Abhishek. It was wonderful, having this conversation with you. If today's episode has inspired you, I will ask all of you to visit www.searchingsoulmate.com. Follow our handles. We are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and of course our YouTube channel. We will be back with another exciting episode, with another exciting, speaker who has experienced it all. Till then, do follow, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.